right now on 5 on Your Side at 10.
Tonight, one step closer to revealing the future footprint of the Archdiocese, what the Archbishop plans to reveal.
Early morning chill heading into the weekend. The pattern changes coming next week that bring a big-time summer feel back to the bi-states.
And our top story, local students take a stand pushing for gun safety.
A lot of times we're seeing a lot of our kids that are being the ones that's being affected by the gun violence.
How kids hope to work with school leaders to prevent violence.
Tonight, a group of St. Louis students sat down with school administrators to talk about solutions when it comes to gun violence. Good evening. I'm Ann Allred.
And I'm Mike Bush. They want to talk not only about how to make them feel safer in school, but how to help outside the school walls. 5 on Your Side's Laura Barczewski was there for the discussion, and she joins us live downtown. Laura.
Mike and Ann, students from St. Louis Public Schools and Confluence Academies tell me that gun violence, unfortunately, is part of their everyday lives, and all they want from the school staff is to be heard. Zacchaeus Williams, a junior at Sumner High School, says he's worried about his safety every day.
So it's like you'll wake up in the morning and just be like, I don't even know if I'm gonna make it to school, or I don't even know if I'm gonna make it back from school. So it's just like, you never know.
That's something he shared during a panel discussion with school administrators and 7 other students, including 7th grader Jalen Graham. Graham says she feels like adults spend too much time shielding kids like her from the reality of what's happening all around them.
It's a very serious topic, and I just feel like it's not talked about enough. And losing people from that is a very traumatic experience, and like I said, it's really not talked about enough at all.
Confluence Academy CEO Dr. Candace Carter-Oliver says every 3 days, a child in St. Louis is shot or directly impacted by gun violence, which is why this discussion is so important.
We have to have an inclusive environment in order to solve this problem that's happening in St. Louis, and hearing directly from students and families is a portion of the work.
President of the St. Louis Public School Board of Education, Tony Cousins, says they're hoping to add solutions from their students to the curriculum they're already working on.
We're trying to start even as young as preschool, looking at safety measures, put down the guns, making sure we're teaching our preschoolers how to walk away, and if you see something, say something.
Williams says he thinks talking about gun violence and even gun safety drills should be mandatory, just like fire and intruder drills.
And I feel like with maybe having drills with it, that we feel more safe, that we feel more comfort in knowing that, okay, we talked about this at school, so if it came down to it, I know what to do in those type of situations.
School administrators tell me this is only the beginning. They're going to work to compile all these ideas and try to fit them into the curriculum and hopefully create more opportunities for students to talk about how gun violence affects them. Reporting live from downtown St. Louis, Laura Barczewski, 5 on Your Side.
It's been a pleasant evening across the bi-state. Let's take a live look at downtown St. Louis. We've seen low humidity over the past 2 days, so what can we expect for the holiday weekend? Chief Meteorologist Scott Connell joins us now with your Weather First forecast.
And it is a quiet weekend weather-wise in St. Louis. Not only that, a very comfortable one as well. You can tell that tonight, temperatures already dropping into the 60s in many spots away from St. Louis. If you're heading to the Missouri Botanical Garden this weekend, boy, you have some great weather to take in all the festivities there with Chihuly. You can see our current temperatures. Wildwood's down to 66. How about Pacific at 63? Mascoutah and Edwardsville at 62. Incredibly comfortable. That's largely because we have all this dry air surging in from the Great Lakes through the Ohio Valley. Our dew-point temperature is 31 degrees. That's extremely unusual for the end of May in St. Louis. The good news we have is that means cool mornings into Sunday, so at least you get a little bit of a break on the AC. Dry conditions will continue this weekend. There is a pattern shift, though, happening next week. That's going to bring us some summertime weather. We'll talk more about that and the rain chances in just a bit, Mike.
All right, Scott. In 2 days, we should learn more about the future footprint of the Archdiocese of St. Louis.
This major announcement will come as part of the All Things New initiative. Robert Townsend is here with a preview. Robert.
And Mike, today I made several phone calls to Catholic churches hoping to get a glimpse or even some comments from parishioners about the highly anticipated All Things New plan. But tonight, everyone is still very tight-lipped. In the past 10 years, the Archdiocese of St. Louis has faced a variety of changes. A spokesperson says the number of priests has been declining, the number of Catholics attending masses has shrunk, and where Catholics are choosing to live in the St. Louis area is shifting. All that while the need for evangelism and social outreach has increased. Now, in a response to the major changes, Archbishop Mitchell Rosansky is expected to announce the All Things New restructuring plan for parishes on Saturday. According to officials with the Archdiocese, it comes after the Archbishop spent extensive time compiling sacramental, financial, and demographic statistics over the last decade for every parish and school in the Archdiocese and gathering feedback through surveys, listening sessions, focus groups, and one-on-one meetings. We're told during the last 2 years, Rosansky asked a crucial question: which parish communities make the most sense to come together in light of demographic shifts, evangelization, and social outreach efforts, resources, and priest availability? In February, the Archdiocese outlined a proposed model to consolidate 178 parishes into 88 pastorates. The Archdiocese described the pastorates as a community overseen by one pastor and pastoral team. A spokesperson says following Saturday's announcement, all information will go live on the Archdiocese website, including parish-specific plans and priest assignments. The Archdiocese says school restructuring will not be part of the All Things New announcement. Again, Archbishop Rosansky is scheduled to make the announcement at the Cardinal Regali Center in Shrewsbury. That's at 5:30 on Saturday, and the details will be posted online at 6 p.m.
Robert, thanks. Tonight, the FBI is looking for this Franklin County man who's been added to the 10 most wanted list. Donald Fields, II, is wanted on federal child sex trafficking charges in Franklin County. Federal agents say Fields trafficked underage girls between January of 2013 and June of 2017. He's also wanted on 15 state charges, including statutory rape, statutory sodomy, child molestation, and witness tampering.
Two criteria to be added to the list. The first is we have to articulate that it is they represent a substantial danger to the public, which we easily did with the allegations we have about Mr. Fields II. And the second is that we have to believe that it is likely that with your help and the American public's help that this person can be brought to justice.
Agents say Fields could be anywhere in the country and believe he's traveling with a woman. The FBI is offering a $250,000 reward for information leading to Fields' capture.
Developing tonight, a St. Louis firefighter is now facing charges after he stole a crash victim's wallet and then used the credit cards. The crash happened at Forest Park in South Grand in Midtown St. Louis back in February. Prosecutors say Arnold Britt used the stolen cards at 3 locations in St. Louis County. Right now, Britt is not in police custody. The fire department says he's been placed on administrative leave.
Tonight, 5 on Your Side has learned a reported carjacking in downtown St. Louis was a hoax. Police say a woman said she was robbed at gunpoint on Walnut Street while she was stuck in Cardinals traffic Saturday night. After reviewing video and evidence, investigators determined she made the story up and was covering for someone who got into an accident while driving her car. The woman could be charged with filing a false report.
The city of St. Louis is taking action to protect gender-affirming care. Hours ago, Mayor Tashara Jones signed an executive order that would provide more inclusive practices in key city departments. The order would increase access to information about transgender care and would protect trans youth participating in city sports, as well as ensuring other city government resources. This is in response to several anti-transgender bills pushed through the Missouri legislature. Mayor Jones issued this statement saying, quote, "In St. Louis, everyone deserves to thrive, regardless of their gender identity or expression. This order sends the message that St. Louis will fight to protect our trans community in the face of bigotry," end quote.
Tonight, St. Louisans continue to remember the Queen of Rock and Roll. Tina Turner died yesterday at the age of 83.
She was discovered right here in St. Louis, known then as Anna Mae Bullock. 5 on Your Side spoke with local musician Bob Cuban, who saw her take the mic at one of Ike Turner's shows at Club Imperial. Cuban says no woman was singing like Tina. and she set the stage for female artists today.
Back then when she started, there weren't a lot of girl singers around. There were very few. In fact, I can't think of any. And I was playing music at that time. But when she started singing, I mean, that made a big difference.
Tina Turner influenced more than just music. She was one of the first pop stars to talk about domestic violence and encourage others to get out of abusive relationships.
Summer camp safety. Parents who lost their son are now on a mission to save others.
If everything was done properly that day, my TJ would still be here.
Never before seen footage showing what happened moments after their son drowned at camp. Near record travel expected this Memorial Day weekend. What you need to know before you head out on your pre-summer vacation.
Summer sizzle, but not for the traditional weekend to kick off the summer season when the steamy surge makes its way into our area.
A warning tonight from parents who thought their child would be safe at summer camp. The I-Team has uncovered never-before-seen footage showing the confusion moments after a 6-year-old boy drowned.
Now his family is telling our Christine Byers why the video is important in their fight to keep other children safe. We want to warn you, some of the scenes you are about to see and hear could be upsetting.
Olga and Trayvon Mister thought they had a slam dunk walking the halls of Jefferson City late last year.
It's common sense to me.
So did State Representative Michael Burton.
This is about kids. This is literally about protecting kids.
But they didn't.
Some of the pushback I got is, well, it's going to cost the camps more money, and so it could make camps close down.
Burton is talking about a bill he tried to get passed through the Missouri legislature to regulate summer camps.
Summer camps have no regulations whatsoever.
The bill would require background checks on employees, emergency action plans, CPR training for staff, and random inspections for camps with aquatics. All things Olga Mister assumed were a given for summer camps like the one she sent her son to at the Kennedy Recreation Complex in South St. Louis County. Her son, TJ, drowned on July 20th, 2022. He was 6 years old.
If everything was done properly that day, my TJ would still be here.
The I-Team filed a records request for all of the evidence police gathered following TJ's death. The Misters wanted the public to see how some of that evidence shows what went wrong here in the chaotic moments after TJ was pulled from the pool. The police report shows there was only one lifeguard on duty for 40 kids that day. Photos show the depth was about 5 foot 8 inches at the 5 foot marker, and a maintenance man called 911.
Is he breathing?
I hope so.
Okay. All right.
I'm on my desk phone to get away in line.
Officers tried to tell a counselor to send the Misters to the hospital.
We don't want the parents here. We can't have the parents here, man.
Seconds later, Trayvon watched helplessly as paramedics tried to save his son's life.
I'm Jeff. I'm the one that talked to you on the phone.
Burton says that's exactly why an emergency action plan is a must.
If a kid is significantly hurt, there needs to be an emergency action plan. God forbid there's an active shooter. There needs to be a plan, and it needs to be written down. And there needs to be oversight on that for these summer camps.
What could possibly be the opposition to this bill?
It's a big change from having no regulations for summer camps to now having some regulations for summer camps.
Burton says lobbyists for the American Camp Association argued camps would have to close.
It would be about an extra $15 to $20 per, child that's there. And I think that every parent would be willing to pay that.
So does Olga Mister.
My goal is not to shut camps down. My goal is to make sure the camps are safe.
For now, she says it's on parents to ask the questions she didn't know she should have.
You just have to ask the questions of what if? What if this happens? Are you prepared to protect my child?
In addition to pushing for the bill, the Misters now run an organization called TJ's Story to raise awareness through public events, and a donation drive to give stuffed animals like the one his father left at the pool to pediatric hospitals in TJ's memory. They're planning to deliver them on the 1-year anniversary of the day his mother says he became an angel.
He was an amazing little boy, and he deserves to be remembered.
The American Camp Association did not respond to our email seeking comment. A spokesman for St. Louis County told the I-Team camp counselors are now certified in CPR. All children will be given mandatory swim tests, and a private company will oversee all county pools. For the I-Team, Christine Byers, 5 on your side.
Well, the unofficial start of the summer travel season is here, and experts predict near record travel for the Memorial Day weekend. St. Louis Lambert Airport is expecting a busy holiday weekend, and airport officials tell 5 on Your Side the TSA is anticipating more than 34,000 passengers to come through tomorrow and Saturday alone. Total numbers expected for the weekend. The entire weekend will be out tomorrow.
AAA says it could be the third busiest holiday weekend since it started tracking stats back in 2000. 37 million people will be hitting the road. Experts say the busiest time to drive is between 3 to 6 p.m., so you may want to try and drive in the morning or the evening. One key factor driving people to travel by car, those lower gas prices compared to last year. And today, Circle K gave area drivers a break at the pump. For a few hours this afternoon, the gas station chain took 40 cents off per gallon at locations in Missouri and Illinois. Our Skylens drone got video of the Circle K on Jameson Avenue. According to AAA, the price of gas in the St. Louis area right now, $3.22 a gallon. You'll pay $3.72 a gallon in the Metro East. You can find the cheapest gas prices in our area by texting the word gas to 314-425-5355.
Earlier tonight, downtown St. Louis was packed with runners for what's known as the healthiest happy hour, the Biz Dash 5K. The festivities were held outside City Park. For the first time, the event was held in the spring, and several members of the 5 on Your Side team took part in the 3.1-mile run.
And let's get to Chief Meteorologist Scott Connell with the Weather First forecast. You were out at the Biz Dash today, and we had a good 5 on Your Side team. You said there were 200 businesses?
I think there were more than 200 businesses. I don't remember what the exact number was, but it was huge. And more than 7,000 people registered.
And what a night.
And, oh, man, what a night. And it looks like this great weather, recreationally speaking, is going to continue. Now, you know, if you've just planted your lawn, maybe put down some sod, or you've got a garden going, you want some rain. That is not in the offing for us this weekend. It's already down to 59 in Chesterfield right now. Look at Mount Vernon, down to 54 degrees there. Looking out in St. Charles, dry conditions everywhere. We're dropping through the 60s in most places right now, and that dry air is coming in from around the Great Lakes through the Ohio Valley. So it is going to be an incredibly comfortable Memorial Day weekend. It's very rare that we say that in St. Louis. Usually it's either steamy with that chance of thunderstorms, or it goes the other way and it tends to be miserably cool and damp. But all the damp weather staying to our west. Stronger storms this evening, parts of Colorado. They've diminished there, but you still have some pretty intense thunderstorms up in the panhandle of Texas, and also watching an area of storminess here off the southeast coast. That's going to impact the Carolinas this weekend. Not exactly the best beach weekend for the folks down there, but, you know, they've got the ocean. It's 69 degrees right now in St. Louis. Look at your dew point. Okay, it's 10 o'clock at night. Well, it's 10:20 almost, but 31-degree dew point, a 24% relative humidity. Air is incredibly dry. Usually this time of night, that humidity level is definitely up, at least relatively speaking. This air is incredibly dry. Upper 40s, lower 50s tomorrow morning, mainly clear skies. So refreshing weather as we head through the day tomorrow. You have a full day pretty much of sunshine for most areas. As we get into the afternoon, we will get back into the mid to upper 70s, but the nearest cloud cover to us should be off to the southeast of St. Louis, trying to nudge a little bit towards us as some of that moisture from the southeast tries to slip back in. It's not really going to have a chance to get here. So the entire Memorial Day weekend is pretty bright. There's no humidity to speak of, which means no rain chance here. 81 on Saturday, low to mid 80s by Monday, and then heading into next week, it'll get pretty steamy. We're at 76 Saturday night, by the way. If you're going down to City Park, which was just so lovely this evening, it'll be just like that Saturday evening as Vancouver comes to town. Water temperatures, maybe you're heading to one of the area lakes, already above 70 degrees in some spots, including Lake of the Ozarks. And yes, recreationally speaking, it is a fabulous weekend. Next weekend, it's going to feel like summer in St. Louis. We make that transition along about Tuesday, but the humidity doesn't come back with those temperatures at or above 90 degrees until later in the week. And it won't be terrible summertime humidity. It's just going to kind of creep back in here. It'll be noticeable, but it won't be brutal.
All right. Sounds good. Thanks, Scott. Frank is here with sports.
Mike, the Cardinals have a star in the making. Jason Tatum played like a star tonight. And Jay Randolph Jr. was remembered tonight at Ladue High School.
Our Folds of Honor campaign is still underway. Round up at the register at any local Schnucks. Money provides scholarships for families of fallen or injured service members and first responders. Folds of Honor runs through May 30th.
The Sports Desk is sponsored by Jim Butler Chevrolet, the Midwest's #1 Chevy dealer 10 years running.
At the end of last season, some wondered about Nolan Gorman. He hit .226 and struck out 36% of the time. Nobody is wondering now. Gorman leads the team in homers, RBIs, batting average, slugging, and OPS. Oh, and one more thing, winning games with big hits late. Miles Michaelis struck out 5, and he got some help from his fielders today. 5th inning, a man on. Jake Malley with the sinking liner, but Juan Yepes makes a nice grab. 6th inning, and that's where the Reds had runners at the corners. Jonathan India, a bouncer to third. The play is at home. Andrew Kisner makes the tag. Michaelis with 7 shutout innings. Trouble was the Cardinals hadn't scored either until the 8th. Gorman came through with a shot into the corner. Lars Nootbaar scored. Gorman later scored the eventual game-winning run. Cards 2, Reds 1. About that Gorman fella, Skipper.
He's been hitting regardless of situation, whether there's guys on or nobody on. He's just taking really productive at-bats and not taking any pitches off. He runs towards those type of scenarios where he likes being counted on, which is a good trait to have, but he's done a really nice job.
Game 5 in Boston, and Jason Tatum did it all. He finished with 21 points, 11 assists, and 8 rebounds. So Tatum and Boston force a Game 6 in Miami. Who knows what can happen now? The final tonight, 110-97. Game 4 Western Conference in Dallas. We have a 2-2 game in overtime. And on the power play, Joe Pavelski will get the goal. Stars win 3-2. Vegas leads the series 3-1.
This 5 on Your Side St. Louis City SC coverage is sponsored by Together Credit Union.
City SC's beginning is like a Mike Bush and Allred newscast, nearly flawless. I mean, think about it. They have a chance to have the most points in the Western Conference with a win on Saturday night against Vancouver. And they have more depth than the Pacific Ocean. Consider this. When India Vasilev scored twice on Saturday versus Sporting KC, he became the 10th different goal scorer for City SC. St. Louis leads the league with 7 different goal scorers with multiple goals. They've had a different lineup for every game. They have plenty of players and a pretty good system too.
You know, if you do the foundation and your principles are clear and your philosophy is intact and everyone's got the buy-in for that, I just think the system is the winner, right? The collective buy-in is the winner. So we always spoke about like a hybrid plug-and-play system. So this player's out, this player comes in, does the job and succeeds. So I feel that that's the beauty of having, you know, I wouldn't call it, yes, depth is great, but I just think it's the understanding of what we're trying to do.
We could have the high school baseball game of the year on Saturday at DeSmet. The Spartans host powerhouse Francis Howe in a Class 6 quarterfinal. DeSmet survived a wild back-and-forth game to advance last week against longtime rival CBC, and they're hoping to carry that calmness into Saturday.
I thought they did a great job. You know, I didn't hear anybody say they were nervous or overly excited. You know, I think they just focused on the task at hand. We've tried to do that from the first practice, just focus on this pitch, and then, you know, regardless of the circumstances, each pitch seems to be the same. Just do your job for that pitch.
Finally, at Ladue High School tonight, they celebrated the 53-year life of Jay Randolph Jr., who passed away in November. Jay was a wonderful broadcaster, golfer, and man. His father, Jay Sr., was a legendary sportscaster at NBC and right here at KSDK, and boy, did he love his son.
I can only say that it's very special to have something like this in a city that he loved, and to have so many people who loved him here. And Mrs. Randolph and I and the children are blessed.
Jay Jr. will be missed.
He will. Thanks, Frank. Well, a trip to the edge of space when Virgin Galactic expects to start flying passengers above the Earth.
Virgin Galactic is on track to take customers to the edge of space after it conducted a successful test flight this morning. The flights will take passengers more than 50 miles above Earth, where they'll experience a few minutes of weightlessness. The first flights could start late next month.
Say goodbye to cherry dip cones at Dairy Queen. After rumors swirled online, the ice cream chain confirmed it's discontinuing the popular item. DQ says they're always rotating the dip cone flavors, and cherry dip cones may return in the future.
While you may consider weeds a nuisance, a Minnesota winery says they make for a tasty wine. The Urban Forge Winery and Cider House harvests 10 to 15 gallons of dandelion fluff every year. The fluff. They say the dandelion wine makes for a tasty vintage with floral notes.
Who knew? There you have it. 5 on your side at 10. The Tonight Show starring Jimmy Fallon is next.
Start your day with Today in St. Louis beginning at 4 a.m. and have a great Friday tomorrow.